Hi, God bless everyone. So my daughter had a rapture dream a little over a week ago, and when she had that dream, it was in the morning before she had to go to school, and we was rushing because I had to get her to school in time. And then after school, she went over her dad's house for a whole week, and I couldn't press her for any more details about the dream, but I knew in my spirit that I didn't get the full dream. Because with kids, they give you a little. They're not like adults. Adults, we try to pour everything, but kids, they just say, a little. And even myself, I don't usually pour everything either. I'll record dreams all the time, and then I'll think about it later like, oh wow, I did leave this out and left that out. And sometimes I'll say it, what I left out in another video. But yeah, so I knew she left some things out, and what she told me was very shocking, because this girl did not know anything about the coronavirus. Actually, when she had that rapture dream, I don't think either one of us knew anything about the coronavirus. And when she came and told me the rest of her dream, it was when she first came in the house. She just started talking about the rest of the dream. And I was quite shocked, because it was a pestilence. And it was very eerie, similar to what we see going on in China. They have 10 hospitals in Wuhan. 10. But yet, overnight, they built 2. Last time I reported on this, I told you guys they was building 1. They actually built 2 hospitals to house thousands of patients. Thousands. So, if it wasn't as many casualties, and if it wasn't a big deal, why would they need 12 hospitals with over 10,000 patients that they can house? And on top of that, my cat is really meowing, sorry about that. But on top of that, they're even talking about putting the remaining 11 million to 16, because I've heard one report say 11 million and another one says 16 million remaining people that don't have the virus. They're talking about putting them in containment camps. And that's horrible, because in containment camps, you can be in there with people who do have the virus and just don't know it yet. And it could spread even more. So to me, that's a really bad idea if they do that. But it's a way bigger deal than what they reported in the media. And the videos that I have, that I'll put a playlist of in the description box, are from real people over there who are really filming things. They really see what's going on. A lot more has occurred since the last time I talked to you all about it. But it's very important, because as you hear this dream that she is going to detail, it really brings home that these things will hit American soil in the end days. The Bible says that what is coming in the end days will be worse than anything in the history of this world. Now, with the coronavirus, there's projected, if they don't clamp it down, it could kill 32 million people within 6 months. And I'm praying for them every day, crying, praying. And I pray that you all too. A lot of times in America, Americans, a lot of them just seem to be aloof to the things going on in the world. And I pray as Christians, we definitely are not like that. We should definitely be praying for anyone that is suffering like that, as long as they have a human soul. So I'm praying for them every single day. Anyway, this is my daughter's dream. I'm going to go ahead and play it now at this part of the video. And like I said, this is part 2 to her rapture dream that she had. Hi, I'm with Sky. She had a dream a week ago where she saw the rapture, and I'm kind of out of breath from running around. I had to run to get the phone. She saw the rapture, and she saw different things, and I posted that video. If I post this, I'll put that video in the description box. So that was a week ago, and then she went over her dad's house for a week, and she just got back home today, and she was telling me more about this dream that she didn't tell me before. So Scott, fill me in again. What was you telling me? How was the earth?
We can't grow anything. Like, we can't go outside, see a bird flying around, and then it's okay. It's not gonna be okay. Like, we're not gonna see a bird and it's gonna be in perfect condition. We're gonna see a bird and it's about to fall down.
Like fall dead?
No, like just fall, like it's been hurt.
Like it was hurt, like the animals was hurt. Now you said we couldn't grow anything. We couldn't put food in the ground and grow food.
Yeah, we couldn't do anything.
Couldn't grow any food.
Like the ground was just stiff. We can't even dig a hole with the sharpest object in the world. It was just
stiff.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Now what she's describing is what the condition of the earth was before she saw the rapture, right, Sky? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so anything else you saw about the earth?
Yeah, like all of the trees didn't have any leaves, but only like all green trees, if you know what I'm talking about.
Green trees that have green leaves?
Yeah, all year round.
What do you mean?
Only those had leaves. Like it
the ones that be green all year round?
Yeah. Like it was not even winter. It was like summer. But yet it had no leaves cuz there was no like good rain. There was like acid and things that hurt people.
Now how do you know what acid is? We've never had that word discussed since you've been born that I know of. You just know what acid is somehow? How do you know it? Because we've never talked about acid. Okay. So, and this was the condition of the world. Did you see any people?
It was very rare for people to be out of their homes. So,
it was rare for people to be outside their homes.
Like, if they needed to go to Walmart, they would have to, like, run. Because there was, like, random animals. Like, say you just look out of the window and you see a random tiger just roaming around.
Wow. Wow.
Or say you look outside the window and you see a random lion.
Wow. This sounds like that movie I Am Legend. I know you don't know what that movie is. I actually talked about that. It's because it's demonic. The name Legend is another name for the devil. Is why I talked about it. But it sounds very eerie similar to the scenery that was in that movie. It was like
there was just random animals everywhere. So when you look to the left, you see a coyote. When you look to the right, you see a sea turtle.
Okay, let me say this. I will probably add notes as this video recording goes on. I recorded it a few days ago, and you know, let me just say this. The stuff that my daughter saw is going to be hard for some people to hear. So I really went into a lot of prayer over whether or not I should even release this video, because I thought maybe it was just information God wanted me to have. So I was doing, you know, my part, preparing for what's coming. And God told me that, you know, I'm preparing and I should give other people the chance to do so as well. That is not just for us, you know, to have this information. And I also had a dream, and in the dream I was making this video. So this is very important. You know, this is a 9-year-old girl. She's not making this stuff up. And I know that a lot of, especially in America, a lot of people have this air about themselves that they're not going to prepare. They're not going to do nothing. They don't care. God better protect them, you know, all this kind of stuff. But she's going to get into talking about how we are protected as saints. You know, God protected us. She's going to get into that. And I want you guys to please share this video, because it's a lot of information in this video. God really showed her a lot and just blew me away. Just, you know, I want as many people to get this information as possible. And a lot of people is not going to believe these things. They don't believe the end time things. And that's why I've been reluctant to share a lot. So here's the rest of it. Okay, so what about me and you, though? You said we was in our house, but did we seem like we was starving, or?
No, we was perfectly fed.
Okay.
But you couldn't get a house.
And why is that?
You know the process of getting a house? You have to, like, sign papers, go to different places. We couldn't do that. We would only leave the house every blue moon. So that's why it was a big surprise when we went in the backyard.
Oh, okay. Did we seem like we was transformed already?
No. But, like, as we went to heaven, I felt like we was getting our powers.
Okay.
So, I don't think we'll get the our powers before the rapture, but, like, we'll get our stronger... We'll get strong powers, but not the superpowers that God has shown us.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Like, we'll get pop-up powers, like side powers.
Wow, Sky. What about diseases? Did you see anybody with diseases?
All the diseases, like all the people with diseases, they've just been dead. Like, there was random dead bodies outside.
Really? Wow. My God, help us, Jesus. Random dead bodies. Did you see anybody just falling out dead?
Some people.
They was just
But some animals too.
Oh, some animals was dying too.
But it was only small animals. The big animals, as soon as they died, they'd run to them, pick them up, and then eat them.
They would run to who and pick who up? What are you talking about?
The dead things and animals and...
Oh, the big animals will run to the smaller ones and eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to add this commentary here. In the past, we have had diseases on American soil and throughout the world that have killed 200 million people. And we've had, other diseases that have killed 100 million people. Far worse than what we're seeing with the coronavirus. So, the coronavirus is not done with. We don't know how many people it's going to kill in the end. If they was truthful, we would at least get the right numbers right now, but we're not even getting that.
Because by the time they all had just come together and we was like, we can't fight each other. Whoever it is, we're going to turn into a pack and we're going to fight them.
Oh, so the animals was making packs.
Yes.
Wow.
Like, there was a lion, a tiger, a coyote, a wolf, a fox in one pack. Like, there was a bunch of random animals in one pack.
Wow.
But they weren't against each other.
I understand.
It was just like, oh, which pack are you in? And they're like, they say their pack. And then they're like, oh, okay.
This matches what God showed me, because I've had prophetic dreams and God showed me that the animals are going to have super intelligence. I wrote about it in my book, so I'm not going to go into it right now.
They all had, like, they could speak telepathic talking.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that right now, but God showed me the same type of thing.
And they could show each other things.
So me and you was in the house. We had plenty of food. We wasn't hungry or nothing like that. But
everyone was well fed. I remember that. No one was on the streets. Unless they was just trying to run to Walmart or somewhere. And there was very few restaurants open. Like, I remember the whole mall we have closed.
The whole mall. Okay.
I do remember, like, us looking outside. And then, like, almost all of the buildings closed.
Was gone. So we stayed in the house. We was fine. How old did we look? Did I look older? Did I have gray hair?
I wasn't looking at you.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
I was looking up. Like, as I was looking up, I saw those buildings being closed.
But when we was in the house, did you see Falcon and Sheldon? I mean, Falcon and Scarlet.
No, not at the time. Because we was walking out the door, and you had told them to get away from the door, so they hadn't.
So I'm saying but they was there. I'm making a point because animals only live a certain level.
Like, the diseases all ended, but there was still dead people on the streets. Like, no one was getting infected.
Up the dead bodies.
Like, no one was touching them. No one was getting around them. They all just stayed away. Like, no one touched them. But, like, all the diseases stopped.
Now,
all the diseases stopped, but no one had picked up the dead bodies, so there was just dead bodies laying outside, then being moved from, like, pack to pack.
And you didn't see martial law?
Mm-mm. All that stuff.
Because the reason I'm asking, because in
like,
China,
all the people just rose up against them and just smashed them to the ground.
What, martial law? They rose up against martial law?
Mm-hmm.
I asked my daughter how the martial law people were dressed. And she described their outfit exactly like the one that I'm putting on the screen right now. And I found out that this is the same outfit that the Russian troops wear right now. I was quite surprised by that, but not too surprised, because I've had dreams that there was a Russian takeover in the United States, and it was an Asian. It was an Asian one too. And I couldn't tell if it was Chinese or Japanese or what. I believe it was Chinese, but I'm not sure. And as me and my friend was talking about this, she said that she also saw the same exact thing. She saw Russian troops with these outfits on American soil doing martial law. Now, I've seen it before a couple of times in the past. Years ago, I've done videos about it. And, now my youngest daughter is seeing it as well. My oldest daughter had a prophetic dream a long time ago where she saw Asian looking troops. But I've also seen what looked like Indian troops. I know it's a Antichrist martial law takeover. And I believe he will have members from all over. At least this is what I think. Because I've seen different looking troops, and I know like the UN has all kind of different troops. It was exactly like the UN is what I've seen. So anyway, I just wanted to add that. The reason I'm asking about that is because in China right now, there's a virus there, and people are just falling out dead. It's very similar to what you explaining, and martial law was trying to put them in FEMA camps, in the people
like
that's not sick.
All the people,
yeah,
like all the leaders, they was all super huge. So like all the animals kept on looking at them like, you're going to be my meal, you're going to be my meal. And they didn't look at the skinny people, because the skinny people were the ones in the FEMA camps because they wasn't getting fed properly.
So you saw that it was a FEMA camps and people was in these FEMA camps?
Yes.
And was that in our area?
No.
Where did you see this at? In what area?
I don't know what area, but I remember seeing like a little thing where these leaders of the female camps were getting hunted
big
down.
Big guys. That makes sense.
And they was all males.
And they was all males. So you don't know what country you was in?
No.
Okay.
They did not look like a race. It was all different. So I think they just randomly snatched someone from a country and then snatched someone else from a whole different country and put them together in one female camp.
Why would you say that? They look like they was different races?
I think it's because they don't want them to cooperate with each other. Like, they don't want them to make plans because they don't speak the same language.
So it was people in these FEMA camps that didn't speak the same language?
No.
Okay, so that it's different countries of people that don't speak the same language. So that's interesting. Or, what you said, maybe they mixed them up somehow. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
And I remember there was no French people. Like, there was no people from France. Or unless they just left.
You didn't see anybody from France in that FEMA camp?
Mm-mm.
Wow. So,
anyone. And I know there was random countries. And there was like every single country in the world
so they couldn't
except for France.
Wow. Yeah, because
I don't think it's a bad thing, though. I think it's actually a good thing.
So me and you in our community, though, they rose up against martial law, smacked them in the head, and was like, we ain't gonna have it. And
like, I remember they do get put into FEMA camps, but they break out almost immediately.
Amen to that. Amen. Okay, so do you think you know how far in the future this was?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Because everything was just so random.
Yeah.
Like,
but
on Walmart, it said 2016, and I was like, what?
It said 2016. What do you mean it said 2016?
Like, there was just a random date on Walmart, and it said that. And all the people was trying to get it down, so it was all, like, messed up. And
so God is pretty much just not letting you know when this took place.
Mm-mm. Like, there was...
But it's very interesting because you are painting a picture just sounds just like China right now.
2020 on a restaurant.
A restaurant said 2020.
Like, the logo was all smashed up. The letters were everywhere on the building, so I didn't know what it was.
Did you see another date that was even later than that?
No, I saw an early date.
Like what?
1927.
Okay, so it sounds like God is just saying He's not going to tell you
or
when this is going to
all
take
these
place.
numbers are symbolical.
Could be. Well, Scott, you know, I knew you had more to share because that day we was rushing out because I had to get you to school. And we was like, hurry up, tell the dream. I hurried up and recorded it. And when you went to school, you went to your dad's house after that. And I couldn't ask you any more questions. So I was waiting on you to come home. Because I knew it was more that you knew about that. So this is very interesting. It looks like we could be seeing this very soon, possibly, because this is what's going on in China right now. I want to debrief you on what's going on in China because you've been over your dad's house. You really don't know what's going on in the world.
There was no normal rain. There was just acid.
Acid rain, though.
No, there was no water.
Okay, tell me about the water.
We
what
had
happened?
no water. We had to either, there was no plants. There was no fruits and vegetables. But there was still healthy stuff.
No fruits and vegetables. Okay, go ahead.
If you saved them up, they would all go bad from all the diseases being stopped. It would still go bad.
So the fruits and vegetables would go
they
bad?
went twice as hard as going bad.
The fruits and vegetables went twice as because of all the diseases
if you got a potato,
okay,
it would go bad in 30 minutes.
Okay, I got you. Wow. So there was no water. What about us in our house? Did we have any water?
Mm-mm.
What was we drinking then?
We was drinking milk.
Where did we get milk from?
Cows.
So they still had milk at the stores?
Mm-hmm. But it was 2 jugs. So we had to go to the store, get some more.
Oh, wow.
And okay, so this was how bad it was. No toys.
No toys.
All the Walmart toys have been sold to get better things. Say a kid is bored and they want to get a toy. Well, Walmart is that's a waste of time. And they're we have to sell this because, toys don't help our community and they don't help anything we do. And They don't help people. But other people said, well, the toys keep our kids sane. They can't just read a book for 12 hours.
Yeah.
They need someone to play with or something.
What about TV? Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, all the toys, it was, really rare to just have, a head of a doll. It was super rare. That would be sold for, $200. So
there was still a currency?
Yes, there was still toys. But they was, super expensive.
Okay, do we have TVs?
The Wi-Fi was jacked.
The Wi-Fi was jacked? Tell me about the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi was jacked. We had no Wi-Fi. And, all the channels were messed up.
Okay.
There was a lot of inappropriate things going on the channels. And, things that shouldn't be seen. Really bad things.
So did you? Okay, now go ahead.
No one was taking care of their bills. So bills were just cut off. No one was taking care.
I like that part.
Nope. Here's why. Because we had no lights. We had.
Oh, they cut stuff off though.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
That's what we never got water. Never got any of the things you pay for, usual bills, all taken away. So electricity cut off. Wi-Fi cut off. Water cut off. And anything else cut off.
They should have just let us still have it though.
No one was taking care of that stuff when you're trying to get out of the place you're in. Like, we can't just go to work and...
But the water was poisoned anyway.
Yeah. So, like, whales were extinct.
Because of the water was poisoned.
Like, almost all of the sea animals extinct.
And you actually saw all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
I was just going quick.
Yeah, I knew God showed you a lot because that's usually the case.
Yeah.
But you was rushing. I had to rush you off to school, so I couldn't really interview you too much. So the Antichrist couldn't even make any announcements on the TVs because the TVs wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we couldn't go see him because ain't no one gonna use a plane.
What about the air? Was the air safe?
Yes, the air was safe.
The air was safe
at the time.
Okay. But it was acid rain, though.
Yes. So, like, every time it was raining and someone was on the streets, there was literally a rule that if it was raining, acid rain, well, acid, basically, the closest person had to invite them in.
Okay.
Even if there was enemies, even if it was a murderer, you have to invite them in.
Wow. Because what did the acid rain do to their skin?
It would, like, okay, you know how, like, veggies get mold all over them?
Yeah.
So say a drop landed on your palm.
Uh-huh.
It would spread on your hand.
Wow.
Hand fell off.
Wow.
It would spread on your arm. Arm fell off.
Wow.
It would spread until everything fell off. And as soon as it gets to this abdomen, you're dead.
Okay, was there any doctors?
There was.
There was? And was
But it was, like, no one was going to work.
So there was doctors, but they wasn't going to work.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Like, they was only taking care of people who showed up or... Yeah.
Wait, if they was taking care of people that showed up, they had to be at work, right?
No, because they was all at their house.
Oh, they was going to their house. They showed up to their house. So you have to know where a doctor lived.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where any doctors live.
Exactly.
But me and you, though, we was okay, right?
Yes.
Many
people weren't getting hurt because, like, no one was going outside. But, like, if you got hurt in the house, you would have to know where a doctor lived.
Okay. Wow. But me and you, we was able to eat everything. We wasn't starving. Yeah. We wasn't hurt.
And we was eating enough.
But I imagine we was stinky, though, wasn't we? Because we couldn't take baths. So
the only way we would smell good for, like, a couple hours is, like, fragrance.
Fragrances. I have plenty of them. So that makes sense. I got tons.
And, like, deodorant without taking
What about baby wipes?
Baby wipes would work.
Yeah, because I have plenty of them, and I need to get some more.
Or powder.
My God, have mercy. I just bought a pack of baby wipes recently, so I need to get more of those. So what about flashlights? Did flashlights work?
Yeah.
So was we able to use candles?
Yes, we would.
And flashlights, did they work?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you this.
But there was no batteries. Like, everything had to be plugged in. Like, batteries were not sold anymore. You had to plug in your flashlight.
So electricity was still working if you plugged it in, because that's something we pay a bill for.
Yes.
So electricity was still working. That's
but only for like an hour.
Really, like an hour a day, like a third world country. That's what they say in like places in Africa. They only get electricity for like an hour or 2 hours a day or something. I heard about that.
Like, we only got electricity. But if we used it on lights, it would get rid of that hour and make it into 30 minutes.
Wow, really? So it was even less. So what do we use electricity for?
We usually used it for just charging.
For charging stuff?
Like, we would make certain appointments, like, I'm going to charge my flashlight at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then 30 minutes later, I'm going to charge my phone.
Okay, she said we would make appointments. Okay.
And only very rarely would they let you use it for 3 hours.
Okay.
Because sometimes the people fall asleep while they're counting, like, an hour. So, like, the highest was 3 hours. Like, they would take a 2-hour nap. They would be like, well, this person's...
So how was people treating each other, though? The ones that was outside, did you see anything like that?
Some of them were super nice, and some of them were super mean. There was no in the middle. There was no half in the middle. There was just super nice or super mean. That was it.
And some people was murderers?
Yes.
Wow. How did they murder people? Did they have a gun or what?
Guns were strictly like, if you even talked about guns, jail. Or you was just killed.
Who was putting people in jail? They rose up against martial law.
The police were still up.
What kind of uniform did the police have?
They wasn't wearing uniforms.
They just looked like regular people?
Yeah.
So it sounds like they made a police. It sounds like the people made their own police.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, now that makes sense. Because I'm sitting here like they can't be both. Because martial law is the police. So if they rose up against the police, then they can't still be the police. So that makes sense.
There was no court. You just either had to throw them in jail or blah.
Or kill them is what she's saying. So, so it sounds like the people make their own police force. I mean, it sounds like total anarchy.
Chaos.
Just total chaos. Total chaos.
Chaos.
But you didn't see the demons yet at this point before the rapture.
Like, they're... Yeah.
You didn't see the demons?
Yeah, I didn't see any. I didn't see any demons, but I'm pretty sure they was, like, all in human form. Like, all of them.
In human form, okay. But there will come a point where there will be demons that won't be in human form.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really interesting. So it sounds like that virus really did come. I don't know if it's the same one they have in China, that I need to debrief you about. But
it killed, like, all of the police because they was the roaming around.
And so the police was dying from the virus.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
What did Jesus look like when you saw him? How was he dressed?
I saw God, not Jesus.
God the Father? How did he look?
Light.
He just looked like light?
Yeah.
And that was it?
The way I always see him.
You couldn't see his face or what skin color he was? He wasn't blue or...
Like, I think when God roams the earth, he's not gonna look like Jesus. He's gonna look like God. The way he's gonna look. He can look however he wants to.
Now let me explain what you're saying so people will understand what you mean, because they're not going to understand what you just said. Yeah. What she's saying is Jesus is God, and she's saying that when he comes on the earth, he's going to look like, not the way he looked as Jesus as we've seen him, but he's going to look like as his image of God, like God. And I know that's the truth. I believe that's the truth as well.
He's gonna look like himself, not his...
Yeah, as himself, as God, not as how he was on the earth. Same thing with
regular fathers, unless you fathers out there have... no.
Yeah, he's gonna look like the way he is as God, not as how he looked on the earth, is what she's saying. And she saw him as just light, and I've seen him like that as well. Thank you, Lord. And so I wasn't scared or nothing like that. We was at peace and we had joy, right? Mm-hmm. We had peace and joy.
And a lot of people were happy, but like there was a lot of bad things going on.
Okay, and the ones that was happy was they
good enough to be happy, but like not good enough to be having parties.
Right, no parties. So we was just kind of making the best out of a bad situation with joy because we had Christ, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me. And so did we read the Bible? She's nodding her head, yes. Okay. And we still worship God.
Yes.
Was God still talking to us? Was we still prophetic?
That's why we were so happy.
Oh, because
we
he was
knew
still
God
talking
hadn't given up on us. Like,
amen.
The devil didn't win.
Amen. I want to add some more notes because I talked with her some more off camera, and she gave me some more information that wasn't discussed on camera. So my notes are kind of all over the place, so I'm just going to kind of go down the list of what I have here. Okay, the people, she said at first when everything started happening, these people came, and the way that she explained them is the people that I call the men in black. That's just the phrase that I give to them because that's what they remind me of. And they were wearing dark suits, and she said that it was male and female, and it was a female that was doing the majority of the talking and was trying to calm the people down and tell them. It was kind of like a spokesperson, like telling them, they wanted to put them in these camps. Like even in China, they're not calling them FEMA camps, they're calling them containment camps. Anyway, I don't know how she worded it, but my daughter was telling me that she was trying to be real calm and talk to them, but martial law worked for these people that I call the men in black. And like my daughter said earlier, they put the people in FEMA camps at first, and this is the people in my community, not all over the world, just the people in my community. She saw that they put them in the FEMA camps, but then they broke out. So what's going on in other communities around the world, I don't know. And the way that she described the way that things looked, there were a few buildings that were destroyed, and she couldn't tell me how they were destroyed. Like, I don't know. They was completely like rubble, but it was a lot of buildings that wasn't like rubble. And so it could have been an earthquake. I don't know. So it seems like it was something else going on besides these diseases. And it was various diseases, by the way, not just one, is what she saw. And also she was telling me that me and her were so happy. We was cracking jokes during the time that we was in the house. She said we was even playing board games. I no longer was doing the ministry because the internet was down. And so we was just having a good time. It was just, party, har, whatever, but not, well, she said it was no party. Like we wasn't having a party. It was still sad. People was dying and everything like that. But we was prophetic. She explained to me more off camera how God was speaking to us both prophetically and leading us and guiding us and letting us know things. And then also some stuff I'm just not going to say, but she also told me about some different gifts that the Lord had given us, not supernatural gifts that she saw when we was in heaven for 4 years, not that kind of stuff, but just more supernatural type gifts that I will not be sharing that because it's personal. So, I just want to say that it's very important to be seeking the Lord with all your heart, mind, and soul. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this video because they don't want to go through anything, but that's just not reality. Okay, this is just not reality. This world is waxing worse and worse. And I can point to all over this world. If you're sub to the two preachers, they are all over this world from Florida to California, talking about all these different disasters. And just imagine those people as well thinking, with that American chip, that nothing can ever happen to them. And horrible things happen to them. Fires, floods, tornadoes, tsunamis, all of these horrible things, pestilence, all of this. So you really need to get that chip off your shoulder if you have that chip on your shoulder, because God has given us this dream to prepare. There are so many things in this dream that help me to know how to prepare, and that is why God wanted me to release this to you all as well. And so I want to get into this too. She said that she specifically saw that, and she told me this off camera, that people who cooked, it would attract animals, and that a lot of people died that way from cooking and attracting animals, especially if they were cooking outside, she said. But even in the house, if they cooked, it attracted animals. So it was extremely minimal cooking. And she specifically saw me and her eating Cheez-Its, and which was interesting because neither one of us eat Cheez-Its. And she saw us eating, she had told me baked beans, and I thought she meant canned baked beans, but she meant Boston baked beans, which is a type of candy. And I can understand that because it's odorless. You can carry it with you if you have to go walking, and it's not going to attract animals. You can just kind of pop it and eat it. It also has peanuts, so hopefully it has some protein. I don't know, but because it is a candy. But anyway, she specifically saw us eating that, and you know, who knows what all else. And we still had our cats. Now, she specifically saw that animals got these diseases, but she said that we kept our cats from getting the diseases because we kept them in the house. In China, I don't want to show you guys the video, but they have been throwing their pets out the window. They've been throwing them out the balconies and killing them because they're so afraid of catching the coronavirus from their pets, because they said that that's the way it originated, is that a pet had it first and then transferred it to a human, and then humans transferred it to humans. So they've been killing pets like crazy. And the government even has a rule over there that if they see somebody walking their pet, they will take the pet, shoot it, and bury it. That's what's going on in China right now. So it's not just a pandemic against humans and birds with the bird flu, but also against the pets. It's really sad. So really be praying for them over there. Another thing that she saw is that we were still celebrating Sabbath. I asked her about that. She said we didn't get dressed up though. Normally right now we get dressed up. And she said no, because we hardly changed our clothes because we was limited with water and resources like that. So we didn't change our clothes that often, and we didn't get all dressed up for Sabbath. And I asked her, did she see how we use the bathroom? And she couldn't tell me that. So I don't know. I don't know, was we using cat litter or what is that, compost? I don't know anything about that, but I don't know. She couldn't tell me that part. So, I don't know about that. And in the dream, she saw that we went to the store to get milk twice. And I tried my best to get any type of detail of how long was we in this condition, how long was we, did this virus last, anything. The way that God gave her this dream, and is how she explained it to me, it was very eclectic. Like she was showing a piece here, a piece there, a piece here. He really did not give her any type of timeline at all. And I know people are probably listening to this trying to understand what the timeline is. He didn't give us anything, so I have no idea. I don't know when this is going to happen. She also said that sometimes we drove to the store and sometimes we walked to the store as well. And God was protecting us. I'll say that God was protecting us, and I give God the glory for that. And then also, if you see part 1 first, and I want to say this too, I believe that God did this on purpose. Like he gave her the rapture dream, and we recorded the greatest parts because that was the parts that she was so excited about. And then she went off and went to her dad's house, and I didn't know anything about the coronavirus. Neither did she. So the way that God literally did this, I had to learn about what was going on in China. And then by the time she was able to tell me the rest of her dream, it wouldn't be that foreign to me. So I love God how he did that. I give him the glory. He's awesome. And so not only me, but you all now know about the China virus and everything. So we have learned together to be able to take the second part of her dream, especially if you've been following what's going on over there. And so if you watch the first part, then you know that after all of this is the condition. What she was just explaining this whole dream is the condition of the world before the rapture. So after all of this happened, then it was the rapture. And she said, it's very rare for us to go outside. So it was something in us. We probably heard the trumpet and we went outside in the backyard, and then we was raptured. Now, we see bits and pieces as prophets. Glory to God. We don't see the whole picture. Everybody gets a different side of that dark glass talked about in 1 Corinthians 13. So I don't know if other things was happening, if there was a war going on, other manifestations. I don't know. This is just the peace that she got. And I have to say this. I really hope this hits home, because a lot of people listen to other people's dreams and visions, and they get pieces and they think that it's the whole story. I run into that all the time. And I'm telling you, God is not giving none of us that I know of, not one of us, the whole story. And I can think of a guy right now, I'm not going to say his name. He had a long dream that he released back in, I think he had his dream back in the 80s. A beautiful long dream. And he was shown pieces. And there's so many more things that God has shown me, so many more things. And others and things like that. The rapture took place after that. It was actually, this whole dream together was a very happy dream. It's not a sad time. Do not be in fear. I have to tell you that. We're going to see some hard times, you guys. You got to understand that. We're going to see some hard times. The world is going to wax worse and worse and worse and worse. But what is important is to know that God will protect that which is his. He told me that to my face. He said, I will protect that which is mine. So cling to him. He's got our back. I love you all. Anything else you want to add?
No.
So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.